and cherished. I'm Cherish, and today's video is going to be me sharing with you the shows and movies that are on my lists to watch on my streaming services. I was just trying to think of something random to whisper ramble about, because as you all know, whisper rambles are my favorite trigger and ASMR videos of all time. So they're also my favorite to make. But anyways, before we get started, if you wouldn't mind to please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, I would truly appreciate it so much. Right now, we're sitting at just over 800 subscribers as I'm filming this, and I am hoping that we can reach 1,000 subscribers by October. So if you subscribe, that would help me out tremendously, and I'd be so grateful. And if you have a second before you fall asleep, before you go to sleep, hit that thumbs up button to like this video. I'd appreciate that so much too. Hit the thumbs up button and like the video, please. And then lastly, if you wouldn't mind, before you drift off to dreamland, to leave a comment in the comment section down below. That helps me out tremendously as well. And today's question of the day is, what is a show that is at the top of your list to watch that you have not yet gotten to watch? What is at the top of your list to watch that you have not yet gotten to watch? If you want to answer that down in the comments to let me know, I would love that. I'm always looking for new shows and movies to watch. I love television probably too much. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, my handles over there are just the same as YouTube. Just Cherished, That would be awesome too. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. I will be looking down a lot during this because I did write down the TV shows and movies that I have added to my lists. You know, on several of the streaming services, they have something titled My List, or something titled My Stuff. So I just kind of went through those. And the two streaming services that I'm going to share with you my watch lists from today are Amazon Prime Video and HBO Max. HBO Max. HBO Max. And I will tell you right now, as I was going through to see what was on my list, some of these things I don't even remember what they were about or anything, but at some point they intrigued me and I put them on my list to watch later. So it's like a watch later list. So my Amazon Prime Video list is pretty small. It's pretty tiny. So I am going to start with that. it's like about a cop who like loses his wife and son. It's like in the inspirational Christian genre of movies. It is called Break Every Chain. Break Every Chain. Break Every Chain. The next one is the Aretha Franklin movie. I do still really want to see this. I had forgotten about it. And then when I was going through my list, I was like, oh yeah, I do. I still really want to see that. And it's called Respect. Respect. Gotta know what it means to me. And then the next one is Left Behind, the movie. So that one is like from the early 2000s, and I've seen it before. In fact, I believe my husband and I watched it together like a couple of years ago for a date night, and that might have been why it ended up on the list. I thought it was kind of funny that it ended up on my list, since it's something I've seen so many times, but it's not like a favorite or anything. The next one is Megan Levy. Is that how you say it? Is it Megan Levy or Megan Levy? I think it's Levy, but I don't know. I believe that's the one about the female Marine and like a dog that she trained with or something like that. It looked really good. My husband was actually a Marine. The next one is Troop Zero. Troop Zero. I think it was some sort of like Girl Scout type movie or something. I don't even know. The next one is Black Box. Black Box. I could not tell you what that's about or who's in it or even if it's a movie or a show. I just know at some point it piqued my interest and I added it to my Amazon Prime list. Unless, you know what? That could have been one because my husband and I just share a profile. I wonder if that's one he added to the list, and I just thought maybe, like, as I was reading the description earlier, like, oh, that sounds like something that I would have added, but maybe not. I don't know. And then the next one is The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to say that maybe my husband and I watched that one at some point as well. Not 100% for sure, but I think we did. Okay, now moving on to my HBO Max list. It is quite a lot longer than my Prime Video list. Okay, again, these are things that just at some point in time I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I don't know. The first one is a documentary called Q Into the Storm. I think it's about like that QAnon conspiracy thing or something. I don't know. I don't really know. But it looked intriguing and entertaining. I don't know like what viewpoint it's coming from or anything. But every once in a while I'll just get in this mood where like I just want to watch documentaries. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while. And so I'm thinking at the point that I created this HBO Max list, I must have been in a documentary mood because there are several documentaries on the list that as I was looking, I was like, why did I put that on there? The next one on my list on there is McMillions, like McDonald's, but McMillions. I'm not really sure what that's about. I don't know. The Undoing. The Undoing. I think that's a movie. White House Plumbers. That's another documentary, I believe. I think I ended up trying to start it and couldn't get into it. White House Plumbers, if I'm remembering correctly. The next one is The Playboy Murders. The Playboy Murders. The next one is Celebrity IOU. So So that one is one that like the Property Brothers host, I believe. The next show on my list is Whose Line Is It Anyway? So when I was younger, we used to watch that sometimes, just for entertainment, but I've never watched that show like from the first episode to the last. It's like a good show just to watch as just like a filler. Anyways, so I guess whenever I saw it was on HBO Max, I added it to my list to hopefully binge at some point. If you are not familiar with Whose Line Is It Anyway, which I'm sure you are, I think at this point, like most people are, but if you're not, that's okay. It is an improv comedy show, and they use audience participation. I don't know who was on it now, but back in the day when I watched it, it was like, I think Drew Carey was the host, and then several of the guys who acted on like the Drew Carey sitcom show were also on Whose Line Is It Anyway, along with like Wayne Brady. Excuse me, I am so sorry. I have been struggling filming tonight, like just making a lot of noise. I'm so sorry. I dropped shoes earlier. I had my bag on the table in one video and was like knocking it around the train. People have been doing fireworks, and now I'm coughing. But we're getting her done. We're getting it done. Okay, the next show on my list is Cold Case. Cold Case. I love those like episodic crime shows like that. The next one, I cannot remember if I watched this already or not. Now would be a good time since the Olympics are coming up. It's At the Heart of Gold Inside the USA Gymnastics Scandal. And then the next one is The Rise and Fall of LuLaRoe. I can't remember if I've already watched that one. I know I've watched one documentary about LuLaRoe, and like the fall of it, but I don't know if it was that one or a different one because I feel like there was more than one made. The next one is What Happened, Brittany Murphy. What Happened, Brittany Murphy. Love Brittany Murphy, and that was such a tragedy. What happened to she and her husband? So I'm assuming that's what this documentary is about. Mommy, Dead, and Dearest. It's about the whole Gypsy Rose Blanchard thing. I think that this came out long before she was out of prison, so I would be interested in watching like her new reality show, but we don't have cable, so I don't know what that would be on. Bama Rush. That was on my list, but I actually think I already watched that. It was like an easy watch one Saturday when my son was like at grandparents' house or something. Like probably it's been months ago now, maybe even a year. Space Jam: A New Legacy. See, you would think that's on the list for my son to watch, which maybe a little bit, kind of, but here's the thing. I really liked Space Jam when I was a kid. I liked the OG Space Jam. I have not yet seen the new Space Jam. I don't have high hopes, like, people don't seem to like it a lot, but I liked the OG Space Jam a lot when I was a kid. And my son, when he was a baby, every day we would watch Space Jam and Moana. Those were his two favorite movies. Like, if I needed to get something done, I say we watched those movies every day. It's not like we watched them beginning to end every day. But if I needed to get something done, I always knew I could turn on one of those movies and he would be happy as a lark in his pack and play watching those. So anyways, I put it on the list because I want to see it, but he hasn't really shown an interest in it lately. Like over the past, I would say at least a year, maybe 2 years, he hasn't shown any interest in Space Jam. So like, it's a movie I want to see, but also like, do I want to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours watching that movie by myself, or would I rather watch something different, you know? The next item on my list is a show that I have seen, but it's on my list because I could watch it again and again. And it's One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill. Are there any One Tree Hill fans here? I actually think I have actually only watched the whole show through one time. But it's one of those shows I could watch like over and over. And I think I put it on my list because I wanted to watch it through again. Another show is next. Entourage. Entourage. I've never watched Entourage, but I've heard good things. Next on the list that I have on my to watch later list is one of my very favorite shows. It is not my favorite show of all time, but one of, which is probably, like, should probably be embarrassing as a 37-year-old woman, but it's Pretty Little Liars, the OG Pretty Little Liars. I love that show. I've watched that through multiple times, and I will probably watch it through even more. The next one on my list I really want to watch, Mike and Molly. Mike and Molly. Oh my goodness, what is her name and why can't I think of it right now? She's in it. Oh my goodness, super famous. She was in Gilmore Girls. She was Suki in Gilmore Girls. And then she was in Bridesmaids. Melissa McCarthy is in that, I believe. Next, I have Succession. After that is my favorite show. Like, if I had to get rid of every other show on the planet and could only watch one show for the rest of my life, it would be this one. And that is Gossip Girl. The OG, not the new one. I tried to watch the newer one on HBO Max and I could not get into it. But the OG Gossip Girl, yes please, my favorite show. Young Sheldon is on the list. My husband and I are actually working our way through that show together right now. We just finished The Big Bang Theory, which I actually think was also on the list. I guess we need to take it off the list, but we just finished The Big Bang Theory and then started Young Sheldon, which is really good. Like, I feel like oftentimes spin-offs and prequels and things are not fantastic, but Young Sheldon is really, really good. Next is another documentary, Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind. Next is a movie, a classic, Gone with the Wind. So I have read the book Gone with the Wind years and years and years ago. I think I was probably in high school, but I have never watched the movie Gone with the Wind from beginning to end. So that's on my list. Another documentary, Robin Williams, Come Inside My Mind. Rich and Shameless. I don't know what that is or what it's about, but it's on my list. The Price of Glee. That's a documentary about the show Glee. And then Mean Girl Murders. It's like a true crime show. Murdoch Murders. Deadly Dynasty. The Murder of Gabby Petito, What Really Happened. And then I have all 8 Harry Potter movies on my list. So I have read all of the Harry Potter books multiple times. Love Harry Potter. tell you if that's a movie or a show. The Comeback. The White Lotus. The White Lotus. The White Lotus. I have watched The White Lotus and it is so good. I keep it on my list so that way when there is a new season, I will remember to watch it. Veep. I have Veep on my list. I've never watched that, but it intrigues me. Big Little Lies is on my list. It looks intriguing. The Pioneer Woman. I put that on my list as like a background noise type show. A Body in the Basement. I have no idea. Barry. And then the final thing I wrote down that I have on my list is Kim versus Kanye, the divorce. I believe I actually started that one. So there you have it. A glimpse into my watch list. Or I guess my to watch later list on Amazon Prime and HBO Max. Thank you so much for being here. Does this drive you guys crazy that I've noticed this whenever, like, if I'll watch back, like, to see if something's too loud, and I notice I'm just, like, spinning in my chair all the time. Anyways, hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. But thank you guys so much for being here, for watching, for listening, for supporting. I know I say it every video, but I truly cannot express how grateful I am. The idea that, like, there are 800 people, I know 800 is not a large number of subscribers, but to me that's 800 people who have watched a video and chosen to subscribe, and that means so much to me. And the fact that you come back for more and listen to more, truly I'm so grateful for that. So thank you so much for choosing to spend your time here. You can spend your time anywhere you want, and I'm always so grateful when you choose to spend it here with me. So thank you. Hopefully right now you're sleeping, getting some rest. If you're still awake, if you want to give me some ideas in the comments below of some videos you might like to see, feel free to do so. I try to take, like, viewer requests, and if I feel comfortable doing them, I try to do as many of them as I can. So again, thank you for being here. God bless. Don't stress. Get some rest.